Factoring polynomial expressions, part 2. If you're factoring with decimals, first you want to factor out your decimal and then factor normally. So to factor out your decimal, you want to take your largest decimal. So this one goes to one decimal place. So we're going to factor out 0.1. So we're going to divide everything by 0.1, which is actually the same as multiplying by 10. So if we factor out 0.1, we're going to have 10x squared minus 15x plus 5. Now that we have this, we take out our common factor, which is 5, so we're going to divide everything by 5. So we have 5 times 0.1 times 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. And now we're just going to factor normally. So blank plus blank equals negative 3, and blank times blank equals 2. We need two numbers. When you add them together, you get negative 3, and when you multiply them, you get 2, so it's going to be negative 2 and negative 1. So we're going to be left with 0.5 bracket 2x squared minus 2x minus 1x plus 1. I'm going to split it into two equations and factor out our highest common multiple. So we have a 2x and a 1. So we have 0.5 bracket 2x x minus 1 minus 1 x minus 1. So our factored answer is going to be 0.5 bracket x minus 1 bracket 2x minus 1. And that's our final answer. If you have a fraction in your polynomial, we're going to divide by the fraction of your denominator. So our denominator is 3, so we're going to divide by 1 over 3. So this is the same as multiplying by 3. So we're going to have 1 over 3 bracket 3x squared minus 17x minus 6, because we're multiplying each term in the polynomial by the denominator. And the reason why we have to divide by 1/3 and factor out 1/3 is because we need to have that the same as multiplying by 3. So now we have our polynomial. There's no common factors, so blank plus blank equals negative 17, and blank times blank equals negative 18. So we need to find two numbers, and our two numbers are going to be negative 18 and positive 1. So we have 1 over 3, 3x squared, minus 18x, plus 1x, minus 6. Break this into two groups, factor out. We have the 3x and a 1. So we have 1 over 3, 3x bracket x minus 6 plus 1 bracket x minus 6. So our final answer is going to be 1 over 3 bracket x minus 6 bracket 3x plus 1. And that is our final answer. When you're checking to see if something is a factor, first we need to remember what our quadratic equation shows us. So if we have, let's just go on this side, for ax squared plus bx plus c. If your a equals 1, think about what your factors would be. Let's say we're going to have two numbers, and it's going to be n and p. So it's going to x plus n and x plus p. And you know for sure that when you factor this out, whatever n and whatever p you have is going to be your two numbers that you found. if your a is greater than 1, so anything but 1, you know you're going to have one of the factors looks like this, x plus n. But your second factor is going to be some number, so let's say m, times x plus p. So some number times x plus some other number. We don't know what they are for sure, but we know absolutely that when a is greater than 1, there has to be some term multiplied by a coefficient in your second binomial. So we use this knowledge, that we know this, when we want to test d minus 4, we're going to do our d minus 4. And for our second variable, we're just going to pick any numbers. So let's say m and d plus p. We don't know what those numbers are, but we know that our d is the same as our x, and we want to find m and p. So we're going to multiply this out. So we have md squared plus dp minus 4md minus 4p. Now if we look at our original equation, 2d squared plus 6d minus 56, this d squared is the same as this d squared. So if our d is the same, this value right here has to be m. So we know that m is equal to 2. Similarly, this 56 is the same as this minus 4p. So we know that minus 4p is equal to negative 56. So now we just solve for p. So we're going to divide by 4, and p is equal to 14. So we know what our p and our m values should be. So if we can solve those, substitute those numbers into our equation, and if we get our answer, then we know that d minus 4 is a factor. If it doesn't equal, then we know it is not a factor. So we're going to substitute 2d squared minus d times 14 minus 4 times 2 times d minus 4 times 14. So we're left with 2d squared minus 14d minus 8d. Oops, this should be a plus. So plus 14d minus 8d minus 56. So we are left with 2d squared plus 6d minus 56. And because this matches our original equation, we know, therefore, 3 little dots means therefore, d minus 4 is a factor of 2d squared plus 6d minus 56. This way is you're solving it algebraically. The second way to figure out if d minus 4 is a variable is to use substitution. So you're going to have to be able to do it algebraically and with substitution. So to do this with substitution, we want to find when d minus 4 equals 0. So we want to find when this equation equals 0. So we're going to plus 4 to both sides. So d equals 4. All we're going to do now is we're going to substitute 4 in for d. And if it equals 0 in the end, then we know that d minus 4 is a factor. If it doesn't equal 0, then it is not a factor. So 2 times 4 squared plus 6 times 4 minus 56 equals 0. So 2 times 16 plus 24 minus 56 equals 0. 32 plus 24 minus 56 equals 0, and 32 plus 24 is 56. So 56 minus 56 equals 0. So we know that this is right. And we already knew that d minus 4 was a factor. So therefore, by substitution, d minus 4 is a factor of 2d squared plus 6d minus 56. Same thing here. We want to find when this is going to be equal to 0. So we're going to find 4x minus 3 equal to 0. Add 3 to both sides. So 4x equals 3. Divide by 4. So we're going to substitute in 3 over 4. So 4 times 3 over 4 squared minus 7 times 3 over 4 plus 3 equals 0. Now, if you're uncomfortable with fractions, which lots of people are, it's not a problem. If you want to do this on your calculator, you can. You need to use the ABC button. It looks kind of like this. All calculators are different, I'm not sure. But you can use this to type the entire equation into your calculator. And if you get 0 equals 0, then you're good. If you want to show your work, this is how you show your work. So you're going to have 4 times, when you square a fraction, you square the top and you square the bottom, minus 7 times 3 is 21, divided by 4, plus 3 equals 0. Now we're going to multiply out, so 4 times 9 is 36 over 16. And now we want to make this next one have the same denominator, so we want to make the denominator 16, so we're going to times the top and the bottom by 4. So 21 times 4 is 84, plus 3 equals 0. 36 minus 84 is negative 48 over 16, plus 3 equals 0. And 48 divided by 16 is negative 3 plus 3 equals 0, so 0 equals 0. You don't have to do this showing your work with your fractions. If you're uncomfortable with them, that's fine. But you need to know how to at least type it into your calculator then. So because this equals 0, we know that this is a factor of 4x squared minus 7x plus 3.